Hi there, I'm Darren McDermott and you're watching Dukascopy TV. Now, over the last few months, we have witnessed a huge negative impact on Russian assets. The Russian stock market was the worst performer this year so far. I'm joined in the studio by Anton Marchinsky from CBH. Welcome to the studio, Anton.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Anton, what are your views on the recent developments and of course the market trends we have witnessed over the last few months with Russian assets?
Well, you're right. The Russian stock market, as measured, for instance, by the RTS index, was down at some point by 26% in mid-March, which is obviously a whopping decline. And since then, we've seen a couple of relief rallies related to, obviously, a softer tone by President Putin, by the fact that the Western sanctions, maybe were, at least at this point, more rhetoric than meaning business. Obviously, the decline is related to the situation in the Ukraine that has been widely covered in the media. But there are some other reasons as well. And I guess we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
And in terms of exact market movements, what are you expecting to see?
Well, as I mentioned, we're back up about 24% since the March bottom on the Russian market. And what we're seeing is, I believe, is a pure relief rally, maybe driven by some short covering, obviously, and basically international investors and also investors at home being less nervous after President Putin's also press conferences. That kind of made sense in the sense that he clearly stated that it was not Russia's intention to invade the southeast of the Ukraine after the Crimea annexation. And also, as I mentioned, the fact that for now there haven't been really strict or really economy-breaking sanctions coming from the West, because I think the partners do understand that they can hurt each other, as the rhetoric basically gets stronger and stronger.
All right, and of course, latest developments, and then what you're expecting to see in the next few weeks from the Ukraine, Russia, everything. What are your thoughts and what are you expecting to see?
Well, my thoughts are that currently with the RTS back around 1250 and the ruble back at pretty much where it was in the beginning of February, we've kind of exhausted the relief potential of the rallies. That's just related to, once again, to the media coverage and to the rhetoric. And my view is that the Russian market is basically in a secular bear trend since I would say mid-2011. So that's been a couple of years. And in the midst of that, there have been quite substantial relief rallies. But I believe that the secular bear trend unfortunately reflects the deteriorating state of the Russian economy.
And will we see a recovery over the next 6 months, year? Do you think things will get better? I
think for instance, a 1400 level is definitely not out of the realm of the possible on the RTS index. But there are some fundamental reasons for the fact that the Russian assets have been generally declining, and I'm talking mostly about the stock market, but also about the ruble. And these are the fact that there's a clear lack of structural changes within the Russian economy, issues with transparency and corporate governance that have been cited multiple times. Obviously, the oil price, which is historically relatively high, but isn't really giving that boost to the Russian economy anymore that it used to do. And the fact that quite clearly there have been some substantial capital outflows related to the fact that not only Western investors, but maybe also Russian investors are quite reluctant to invest in the local economy and local assets. And these are things that have to be once again repaired structurally if we are to see another long-term bull market on the Russian stocks. So I believe there will be a few relief rallies, and there will be more volatility related to the tensions in the Ukraine, which by all means are not over, unfortunately. We've seen warfare in the southeastern part of the Ukraine, and that's obviously affecting the markets as well. It's going to be a volatile market, I think, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Anton, it was great having you in the studio today. Thank you very much for your views.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
And thank you for watching Dukascopy TV. Do stay tuned as we have more interviews heading your way very soon. See you then.